In this video, we'll be discussing about the placing of the concrete. So, as you all know, the first manufacturing process of concrete is batching, then it is mixing, and then it is transporting. So, whatever the homogeneity that we have obtained in mixing, so the same homogeneity has to be carried even while doing transporting of the concrete also without any segregation. So in order to get a good quality concrete, so as I already mentioned in the other videos, the utmost care has to be taken at every stages in order to get a good uniform concrete. So to achieve good quality of concrete, it should be placed also with utmost care, securing the homogeneity that is achieved during the mixing. So it is not enough that a concrete mix is correctly designed, batched, mixed, and transported. Even while placing the concrete, also we have to take utmost importance and care has to be taken so that the homogeneity that is obtained while mixing and transporting, it has to be placed in a same manner. So concrete to be placed in a good manner, that is, it should be placed before the initial setting of concrete commences. That is, the concrete has to be placed after mixing of concrete within 30 minutes of adding of the water. Uh, if the mixing and the placing point is nearer, it has to be placed within 30 minutes of adding of the water. Or if the placing and the mixing point is different at a different location, then for a mixer we have to, for a mixing of, for a mixed concrete, we have to add some retarders so that uh, it can, so that we can able to place the concrete even after 30 minutes of adding water, because retarders is mainly used to uh, increase the setting time of the concrete. So we can use some retarders so that we can able to place the concrete even after 30 minutes of adding of the water. And after mixing, so before going to placing, it has to be transported from the mixing point to the placing point. We have studied there are so many different transporting methods. Whichever is suitable for that site location, we can use either manual method or any machine based method can be used to transport the concrete from one, from the mixing point to the placing point. So as I already told, it has to be quickly transported because we have only 30 minutes of time from the mixing to the placing of the concrete, so it has to be quickly transported by means of any other transporting methods. So to reach the maximum efficiency, concrete should not get segregated. So you know what is the or how the segregation will happens, and what are the precautions to be taken to avoid the segregations. So in order to get the maximum efficiency, concrete should not get segregated. So here the concrete should not pour over a height of 1.5 meters. So the maximum height of concrete that can be used to pour the concrete is 1.5 meter. So more than 1.5 meter if you pour the concrete, so it results in the segregation, because as you all know, coarse and fine aggregate has more specific gravity, so it tends to fall first and then followed by the cement paste. So that's why concrete has to be poured from a maximum height of 1.5 meters or below 1.5 meters. As the height increases, it leads to separation of the aggregates from the cement paste. As I already told, greater the height, it leads to the separation of the aggregates from the cement paste. And also in placing, concrete has to be placed in the layers. We should not pour the concrete at a single stretch for the entire section. We have to make sure that the concrete has been laid in the layers. So after pouring the concrete for one layer, each layer has to be compacted so that the entrapped air, it has to be removed. And so we have to give 100% compaction, and we have to keep the surface rough so that when we pour the next layer of concrete, there will be a bond between the first layer as well as the second layer. So here once again, in the placing also, care should be taken to avoid displacement of reinforcement or movement of the formwork. So while placing, especially for concrete columns or beams or slabs, so in order to avoid the displacement of reinforcement or the movement of the formwork, we have to take care, especially while placing a concrete in the RC structures. So in the placing of concrete, totally there are different available site conditions which is there. So we have to make a note of that, which are the good methods for placing a concrete, and what are the precautions that has to be taken at the different site conditions. In the For the different site conditions, what are the different placing techniques, or what are the precautions that to be taken, we have to properly plan before we place the concrete. So this is a raft foundation where the slab and concrete will be casted at a single stretch. You can see from the point where the concrete has been poured to the raft foundation by means of a pumping. So this is one way of transporting the concrete from the uh, point, from the mixer point, or uh, from the point to the placing point. So by means of pumping, they are pouring a concrete. So this is a raft foundation. So there are four site conditions that we are studying. So under these in under these four site conditions, what are the different placing techniques, and what are the precautions that to be taken before placing the concrete? So that we are going to study. So first one is placing of the concrete within the earthen mold. That is for the foundation, what are the different precautions to be taken before laying a foundation concrete? What are the precautions to be taken? And next, placing a concrete in layers with the within timber or steel shutters. That is, what are the precautions that to be taken while placing a concrete in the dam construction, or in the say RCC construction, large scale RCC construction, or in the bridges? What are the precautions that to be taken before placing a concrete, or how the placing has to be done? We are going to study that. And next, placing of the concrete within the usual formwork. That is for the construction of beams, columns, or slab with the usual formwork, how the placing methods has to be done, and what are the precautions to be taken before placing a concrete, that we are going to study. And the last is placing the concrete under the water. So while placing a concrete under the water, so what are the different methods are there, and which is the best method, and how the concreting will be done for underwater construction, so that we are going to study. So first one is placing a concrete within the earthen mold. So here, uh, as you all know, for any of the structure that which we are going to build, we require a foundation. So we have to lay the concrete for the foundation, that is below the walls or maybe for the columns. Below the walls, we are placing masonry footing. There we use PCC, plain cement concrete. There also we require a concrete, and also for columns we require RCC footing. There also we require concrete. So concrete is invariably laid as a foundation bed below the walls as well as in the columns. So before the concrete is placed in the foundation, whatever the soil which is there, or the earth which is there, it has to be removed from the bed. Okay, and also the bed has to be made it dry, so that there should be surface. If we found it dry, we have to make it wet, so that when we pour the concrete under the dry surface, whatever the moisture which is there in the concrete, the soil itself going to absorb the water from the concrete. So that's why, while if we found that surface is dry, we have to make it wet, so that it will not absorb the water from the concrete. On the other hand, if we find that the surface, or the earth surface, is completely wet, or if it is completely rain soaked, and if we found that there is a previous day, if any rain has occurred, and if we found that the soil is completely wet, then the water has to be completely removed from the bed before placing the concrete. And also, So these case usually that happens, that is, if any root of the trees, if it is passing through the foundation, then it has to be cut to prevent its further growth. If we leave the root of the tree as it is, then it will affect the foundation in the later stages. So if we found any root of the tree which is there, we have to cut it to prevent its growth. And also, if we found if there are any seepage of water taking place, then we have to make sure that that water has to be that flow of the water has to be diverted, or any other suitable methods have to be adopted before placing the concrete inside that trench pit. Okay, so we'll see a small video related to this.
Placing of concrete part 1. Placing of concrete in foundation. Well, we have seen videos on batching of concrete, mixing of concrete and transportation of concrete. So with this knowledge, we have now batched, mixed and transported the concrete to the location perfectly. Is it enough to get the required structures? It is utmost important to place the concrete perfectly to secure the homogeneity achieved during mixing and transporting. Let's have a look at the precautions to be taken and methods adopted in placing of concrete in most common situations. The common situations we are going to discuss are placing of concrete in foundation, placing of concrete in columns, beams and floors, placing of concrete in road slab and airfield slabs, placing of concrete in dams, piers or abutments, placing of concrete in underwater. Concrete is always used to lay the foundation bed below the walls or columns. Some important precautions to be followed are: before placing the concrete in the foundations, all the loose earth must be removed from the bed. Any trace of the root of trees in the foundation trench should be cut and charred or tarred effectively to prevent the further growth. If the surface of the earth above which foundation is to be laid is dry, must be wetted with water, thus there will be no absorption of water from concrete. Besides, if the bed is too wet or filled with rainwater, the water must be removed completely before placing of concrete. If there is any trace of seepage of water in foundation trench, any suitable method is adapted to stop or divert the water. Now, you can place the concrete in foundation. We will see the remaining situations of placing concrete in our upcoming videos. Till then, stay tuned to our channel.
So I hope you understood how to place the concrete for the foundation. So next we are going to placing of concrete within the usual form work. So before placing the concrete, so the forms usually it is there as from work. Sorry, it is a form work. So before placing a concrete, the forms must be examined for the correct alignment. If we found the cross section of a column as 300 by 600, so before placing concrete inside the form, we have to measure whether the dimensions of the forms is correct or not. It has to be examined for the correct alignment, and then it should be sufficiently strong enough to withstand the load from the concrete, because when we pour the concrete, the formwork should be strong enough so that whatever the weight that comes from the concrete from inside the formwork, so the formwork has to sufficiently take up that load. And also whatever the load that comes once the concrete get hardens, so without any deformation, the formwork should be adequately hold the load coming from the concrete as well as from the hardened concrete, so without any deformation. So the formwork should be hold the loads. And most important thing is the formwork. Before placing the formwork, first we have to check the reinforcement whether it is correctly tied, placed or not. Okay, and also with the appropriate cover, so we have to leave the minimum cover for the concrete. So before checking the formwork, we have to check whether the reinforcement is tied and the spacing between the reinforcement is correct or not, and then we have to place the cover also. So here then the joints between the formwork must be properly and effectively plugged. So here the joints of the formwork is very important, because when the concrete is compacted or by means of a vibrator, so whatever the cement paste which is there, which is, it should not escape through the joints of the formwork. So that's why it has to be effectively plugged properly, so that the water should not escape from the uh, joints. And also the formwork should be made it light enough, so that we should avoid the loss of motor from the joints. So if we have not properly plugged the joints, then the concrete may result in the honeycombed concrete. So that's why the joints should be effectively plugged. So the inside of the formworks should be applied with some mold releasing agents or some chemical agents, just like we do when we are doing a compressive strength of concrete. We are pouring some, or we are putting some oil inside the mold. Why we will do that? To avoid to get a easy stripping of the formwork, we have to add some chemical agents for inside the formwork, so that for it will be easy for us to remove the formwork. Then the reinforcement should be clean, and it should be free from the oil. And also, if we found the reinforcement is rust enough, then it has to be painted, so that we have to remove the rust from the surface of the reinforcement. And also the minimum cover for the reinforcement has to be checked before concreting. So before concreting, we have to check whether the cover is minimum cover is given for that those type of construction or not. So you know the advantages of cover. That is, if we don't give a cover to the concrete, cover means from the surface to the reinforcement there will be some distance. If we don't give that cover, then the reinforcement will be there at the surface of the structure. So that reinforcement will be exposed to the environment, and it may get corroded. So that's why we have to keep the reinforcement from inside from the surface of the concrete. The reinforcement should be inside, so the distance that we call it as a cover. So here when we place the concrete inside the formwork, we have to place in the small quantity with certain layers. We should not pour all the concrete at a single stretch, because it will block the entry of the concrete. So that's why we have to properly place in a small quantity at a time. We have to carefully place the concrete, so that the large quantity of concrete while placing has to be avoided. We have to place in the small quantity. So I have a video of this related to this.
Placing of concrete Part 2. Placing of concrete in columns, beams and floors. The columns, beams and floors or roofs are the important structural element for any building. The concrete should be placed perfectly at these places. If not, it will lead to structural failure. Before placing the concrete, the forms or shuttering should be examined for correct alignment. The forms must be rigid enough to withstand the weight of concrete and loads during construction without any deformation. The finish of forms must be accurate enough such that there is no loss of mortar which otherwise result in honeycomb concrete. The inner surface of forms must be cleaned and oiled before use to avoid any sticking of concrete with the forms and their difficulty in stripping. The reinforcement is placed should be tied tightly and must be free from any forensic agents. The presence of rust, paints, oils, or grease should be removed before placing of concrete. The minimum cover of reinforcement should be checked before concreting. The concrete should not be dropped from a high distance, rather it should be dropped from the small height as it could be possible. The concrete should be placed at one point and made to flow sideways such that there is no honeycomb and lay items formation. This can be checked by placing the concrete by layer. The surface of the underlying layer should be kept rough and the lay items formation must be removed. There is a chance of failure to the bond between layers of concrete, so these layers should be placed as soon as possible. By this way, you can place the concrete in columns, beams, and roofs or floors. We will see the remaining situations of place.
So I hope you understood how to place the concrete inside the formwork. So I forgot to mention two things. One is when placing a concrete, it has to be from the smaller height, not from the greater height. The height of the placing should not be more than 1.5 meters. And also while placing a concrete in layers, after placing the first layer, while placing before the second layer, whatever the surface which is there, it has to be kept it rough, so that whatever the cement paste which is there on top of it, it has to be removed. That is called as a light ends. So it has to be removed. We have to make the surface rough so that there will be enough bond between the first layer as well as the second layer. So next we'll go more on to the third type, that is placing of concrete in layers within the timber or steel shutters. So as we all know, as I already mentioned while introducing placing, when concrete which is laid in great thickness, so especially in case of mat foundation or in the dams, while construction of the dams or in the bridges, so the thickness of the structure will be quite more. So you cannot place a concrete at a single stretch. It has to be placed in the layers. When you are placing in the layers, we have to make sure that the thickness of the layer depends upon the compaction that we use. So before placing a concrete, we should know what are the compaction methods that we have adopted for this construction site. So or this for this type of construction, what is the compaction method that we have adopted, what is the size, and what is its frequency of the vibrator. All these things have to be properly planned before placing a concrete. So while placing a concrete in layers, all these things has to be noted down, because the thickness of layer depends on the mode of compaction, size, and the frequency of the vibrator that we are going to use to compact the concrete. So in reinforced concrete, so the good practice is to place a concrete in layers about 15 to 30 centimeter thick, whereas in the mass concrete the thickness of layer may vary between 35 to 45 centimeter. So these thickness may vary depend on the compaction method that we are going to use. Okay, but the standard 15 to 30 centimeter thick for RCC concrete, and also for a mass concrete, that is well construction of a dam or a bridges, then the thickness may vary 35 to 45 centimeter. So here, while placing the concrete in a different layers, so as I already mentioned, so before placing a concrete for the second layer, the first layer has to be completely cleaned with the water jets, or it has to be completely scrubbed by the wire brush. Okay, so whatever the lightens which is there at the top of it, it has to be completely removed before placing the second layer, because if we don't follow these methods which I have mentioned, then it results in the formation of the cold joint. You can see these kind of things you have, most of you might have seen outside also. So if you have not made the surface of the first layer rough, and if you have not cleaned, and if the latence is not removed, Then while placing a concrete in the second layer, then there will be no bond between the first concrete as well as the second concrete. Then there will be a development of a joint that is called as a cold joint. Okay, so usually these kind of cold joints will occur because of the quality of the bond between the two successive layers of concrete, so which determines the overall strength and also seepage of the dam. Because these kinds of cold joints may affect the reinforcement which is there inside the concrete also, because the water may percolate through these joints and it may corrode the reinforcement which is there inside the concrete. So the factors affecting these kinds of joints is the time delay between the placement of the different layers. If we delay the time between the first layer as well as the second layer, then there is a chances of getting these kind of joints. And as I already told, if you have not followed a proper precautions as I already mentioned, then uh, these kinds of joints are likely to occur in the concrete also. So I have a small video related to this.
Placing of concrete part 4. Mass concreting. In the construction of raft foundations, high-rise building, bridge piers or abutments, dams, etc., concretes are generally placed in a large mass. In these places the concrete is placed in layers. The thickness of each layer depends on the mode of compaction employed. However, the thickness of about 35 to 45 centimeters is commonly employed. When the concrete is poured in layers, there is a possibility of formation of lift, which results in the formation of cold joints. Thus, the concrete on the above layers should be placed quickly with sufficient care. The thickness of layers is limited based on the method of compaction and size and frequency of vibrator used. Before placing the concrete, the surface of the previous lift is cleaned with the water jet and rubbed with a wired brush. In dams, sandblasting is also adopted. The old surface is sometimes hacked and made rough by removing the lay items and loose material. The surface is wetted. Sometimes, a very thin layer of rich mortar or cement slurry is dashed against the old surface.
So this is how the concrete has to be placed in the uh, layers, that is especially in the mass concrete construction as well as in the RCC construction also. So these are some of the uh, methods that we adopted while placing the concrete. So last one is placing a concrete under the water. So here there are so many methods to place the concrete under the water. So but the best method of placing a concrete under the water is by the use of tremie pipe method. So here in a tremie pipe, it consists of a funnel and also it consists of a pipe. So the pipe is connected to a funnel to pour the concrete from the funnel. So the diameter of a tremie pipe is having a diameter of about 20 centimeter, and also the pipe can be made to increase or decrease its length depend on the site conditions. So as already told, a funnel is fitted to the top to facilitate the pouring of the concrete. So here underwater concreting using tremie method is convenient to pour the large quantity of high flowable concrete. Here the concrete that is made to use is a high flowable concrete or high workable concrete. So here the concrete is moved to the hopper. So the hopper is nothing but a funnel. So concrete is moved to the funnel by means of a pumping or by means of a belt conveyor. The concrete has been transported into the funnel. Okay, so the pipe is made to rest at the point where the concrete is going to be placed. So the pipe is made to rest at the exact point where the concrete is going to be placed. Okay, so Treme pipe, which upper end is connected to a funnel and the lower end is continuously submerged in the fresh concrete. So here the concrete is placed at the exact location from the hopper at the surface. So care must be taken at this stage to see that when the end of the treme pipe remains inside the concrete, so that the water should not enter inside the pipe, because the concrete is already highly workable. So if water also get inside the pipe, then the water in the concrete will be more, so it affects the workability of that job. So that's why the water should not enter the pipe. We should make sure that the entire length of the pipe is filled with the concrete. So once it should be ensured that the end of the pipe remains inside the concrete, so that the water should not enter the pipe. So completely the pipe is filled completely with the concrete through the funnel, because through the funnel the concrete will be poured. So the entire length of the pipe is completely filled with the water, filled with the concrete. So once the entire length of the pipe is filled, so to discharge the concrete to the location where we want to place, we have to give a small jerk to the pipe, so that whatever the concrete which is there in the pipe will get discharged to the exact location. Okay, so this process has to be continuously done till the entire hole has to be completely filled with the concrete. So till the entire hole is filled with the concrete, this process of concreting has to be done continuously. And then here concreting work is progressed without stopping till the concrete level comes above the water level. So when we pour the concrete continuously inside the hole, so we have to continuously do the concreting without stopping till the concrete comes to the water level. So here no compaction is required, because already the concrete is highly workable, so no compaction is required. And also due to the hydrostatic pressure which is surrounding the pipe, hydrostatic pressure of the water which is surrounding the pipe, so no compaction is required for this, that is for a treme pipe method. So I have a small video related to that. So this is a funnel which is filled, and you can see the pipe is fitted to a funnel. Okay, and at the top of it you can see here concrete has been continuously poured to the funnel, and then by means of a pipe it is getting discharged at the exact location. So once the concrete is there inside the pipe, then we have to give a small jerk to it. So because the concrete has to be get discharged at the exact point, so that's why we have to give a jerk to the pipe, so that concrete which is there inside the pipe will get discharged to the exact location. So like this process will be continued. This process is continued till the concrete comes to the level of the ground surface. So from the bottom the concrete has to be filled to the top. So once the concrete reaches the ground surface, then we can ensure that the entire hole is filled with the concrete. So you can check now the entire level of ground surface, till the ground surface the concrete has been filled. So this is how concrete can be placed under the water by means of a treme pipe method. So this is a small diagram, so that by means of a diagram you can understand how concrete will be done. So there will be a hole which will be full of bentonite slurry, which has to be filled initially, and then a treme pipe is inserted with the funnel. So by means of a belt conveyor or any other transporting methods, the concrete is going to fill at the funnel, and the entire length of the pipe is filled with the concrete. So once the pipe is filled with the concrete, a small jerk is given, so that the concrete which will be there at the bottom will get displaced to the exact point. So from the bottom concrete is going to fill from the bottom to the top. So a jerk will be given continuously till the concrete comes to the level of the ground surface, a jerk has to be given. Once the concrete comes to the ground surface, then we have to stop pouring the concrete. We can ensure that the entire hole is completely filled with the concrete. So advantages, as I already told, no need to compact the concrete, because highly workable concrete, it will be compacted itself. And also, um, since hydrostatic pressure of the water which is surrounding the pipe, so no need to compact it. Disadvantages is, in this method, since high consistency concrete is used, since it is highly flowable, the fluidity will be more in the concrete, so it may reduce the strength of the concrete. So that is the advantages and disadvantages. So once again, I have a small video of Treme pipe method.
The most widely and best method of placing of concrete underwater is by the use of treme pipe. The word treme is derived from the French word hopper. The diameter of a treme pipe is about 20 centimeters, capable of easy coupling for increase or decrease of length. Generally, the bottom end is closed with a plug or thick polyethylene sheet or such other material. A funnel is placed on the top end to facilitate pouring of concrete. The entire setup is taken in the water and allowed to rest at the location where the concrete is required to be placed. As the end is closed, no penetration of water is observed in the pipe. The concrete with a very high slump value of about 15 to 20 centimeters is used for filling the funnel. When the entire length of the pipe is filled up with the concrete, the pipe is lifted up and a slight jerk is given by a winch and pulley arrangement. As the plug or cover falls and concrete gets discharged, the process repeated till it reaches the water level. The advantage of this method is no compaction is required for underwater concrete, as it gets compacted by the hydrostatic pressure of water. This takes us to
So this is how the concrete going to be placed under the water. So we have studied placing of concrete, how to place the concrete in foundation, columns, beams and slabs, and also in dams, piers or abutments, and also how, what are the different precautions to be taken, and what is the method to place the concrete under the water. All these are the things that we have studied under this video. So I hope you understood how to place the concrete for the different site conditions. Thank you.